The heavyweight championship is on the line tomorrow. Let's throw it over to the Godfather, Joel Supernod. Joel, rematch, DC versus your boy, Stipe. Give me your thoughts.
Okay, hold on. Now DC's your boy, our boy, and then our boy Stipe. We got two dogs in the fight, but hold on a second. Let me feed into this thing first a little bit. First off, see the shirt?
I see it.
It's a skinny guy shirt. Now you can do a skinny guy shirt when you can't pull it off, because I can pull it off right here. Can't pull it off no lower, but you can't see it. The almost skinny pants you brought over, they fit.
Are they on? Right, are you wearing them?
Got them on right now.
Congrats.
So let me bounce you around a little bit. First off, hold on. Because I'm gonna finish this thing hot. I'm gonna finish before you nuke me or they cut me or the video starts pulling and hey, we can't run this or can't send it anywhere.
Say your piece.
Huh?
Say your piece.
That's what I'm doing.
All right,
brother. Listen, shout out to Kevin Senior. His little man Chael's going through it right now. You're gonna be all right. My little hero's right behind me. You're gonna be fine. All right, now let's beat you up a little bit. So you come over the other day, and I cut a promo on Frankie. You're sitting right there, and you're like, "Oh my God, that was so good!" Woo. And I was like, "What do you mean? You didn't see that? That was something that you missed?" Then I went back and watched you co-sign Frankie going down to 135 pounds. You, okay? Dum. Listen, Frankie was the 155-pound champ at one time, correct?
Yes.
No, 145-pound champ.
He had the belt at 155.
Okay, so 155. Now, the reason he was a 155-pound champ is because he was best in the world. Then he went down to 145, and he almost got it, but he couldn't be the champ. Now, you dum-dums are... Now, Frankie has never, in 15 years of us being Frankie marks, said, I want to go to 135. Ever. Not one single time. Still, to this day, haven't heard it out of his mouth. Okay? Do you know why?
Tell me.
Because Frankie wrestled NCAA Division I at 141 pounds. Nobody goes down from their college rate, dum-dum. Name me one person that goes down that isn't heavyweight to 190. To prove my point, Stipe is a 90-pounder. DC, I think, is an 85-pounder. And you dum-dums think that Frankie, in his infinite wisdom, after fighting for 15 years, wrestling forever, he went home and said, you know what? I want to go back to my Division I days when I made scratch at 141 pounds, which was the last time on earth Frankie was at 141 pounds. And then I want to lose another 6 pounds. That's all you dum-dums talking. You, Pony Boy, Alibaba, who's the manager for both guys. Why don't you see that? What's wrong with you?
Is this where I respond? I got to tell you.
You got the floor.
Okay, I got to tell you, I feel as though you painted this where I'm in a position of encouraging 135. All I was doing was looking for his decision. Look, I thought all options were on the table after that last fight because I know how important the World Championship is. You put that in conjunction with everything that he's achieved. You put that in conjunction with how good of a fight it was with Max, but how clear it was who the victor was. And when I say all options are on the table, what I was alluding to is that could possibly be the retirement fight, and we don't see Frankie again. So when he came out and made his decision that he was going to 135, I was happy that we had the clarity, and biasly, since Frankie's my favorite fighter, I was happy he wasn't going to retire. But as far as encouraging, or I think perhaps you have that wrong. I don't think that I ever said I wanted him to go to 135. I don't know that I have ever had an opinion on it, including now. I just reported that he decided he was, or at least that's how I remember.
It's a really simple opinion, dum-dum. He's going under his college scratch weight that he wrestled 15 years ago to try to be a champion at that weight at 34 years old or 36, whatever he is. That shit doesn't work. It's a bad plan. It's people that never wrestled in their life coming up with those plans. Okay? Now, this is where you say, God damn it, you know what? You're right.
Again, I'm a little bit unclear. I'm not sure what we're arguing about. It is accurate information that Frankie has decided to go to 135 pounds. That's true. It sounds, I'm not totally sure what your argument is. I believe what your argument, at least my interpretation, is that it's too low and that he shouldn't be doing it. And as evidence, he couldn't even do it when he was in his late teens and early 20s. I hear what you're saying, but are you predicting he misses weight or just that it's a bad weight to go? I don't know what we're fighting about.
No, he'll make weight. It's a bad idea.
I want to fight. I want to fight with you right now, particularly because you called me dum-dum 5 times. I feel like I owe you a bonk back. I'm just not clear on what my stance is or what yours is.
Okay, real simple. Frankie had to be talked into going to 135 pounds. Okay, his dumb manager and some idiots around that camp came up with that idea. It's a bad idea. Do you agree that is a bad idea?
Going to 135 pounds, I will tell you, it surprised me. I mean, I see your point there that you don't see very many grown men competing at less, right? As human beings, even our fans can relate. We don't weigh less now than we weighed in college. That's not how it works. So, I mean, I hear your point on that, but is that your point? I mean, is that all we're bickering about?
My point. Now, listen, let's do it with you.
I'm halfway excited to see him at 135, I guess. If that's what you're asking me, I'm halfway happy to see what's going to happen.
All right. Well, you're a dum-dum. That's number 6. Let's go.
Where we go? I wanted to talk Stipe versus Miocic. I don't even know what in the hell I don't even know what just happened, but Ali and I both got called dum-dum, so.
Okay, well,
what's happening with Stipe and Cormier, part 2, tomorrow night?
Hold on, let me finish this.
Okay.
Okay, so you were a 90-pounder last year in college, whatever weight that was, but you were a blown-up 90-pounder. You would have been a suck-down 77-pounder. Or right, that would have been your right weight, correct?
Correct.
Okay. At no chance ever in the history of the world today or the last 3 years have I ever come to you and say, you know what, Chael? 170 would be a great weight class for you. That's stupid, isn't it?
Right.
That's crazy talk, correct?
It would be uncomfortable and unpleasant. What are we talking about here? That Frankie can't make it or he shouldn't make? What exactly are we talking? He can't compete well at it? I'm just trying to get the argument so I can then fire back. I don't know what side you're even painting me into here.
Well, the side you already said, and you just said, hey, you're halfway looking forward to Frankie going 135 pounds and killing himself. That doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. Okay? He's not going to compete well there, and it's a decision that he had to be talked into. Okay? And it's a dumb decision. It doesn't make any sense. He's not going to beat Cejudo at a suck down 135 pounds.
Okay,
That's
fine.
Gonna happen.
Fine. I actually don't want to fight this point, but I hear your piece and thank you for making it. So let me ask you this in reverse. What should have he done? Should have he stayed at 145? Should have gone back to 55? Should have he retired?
No, he shouldn't retire. He's got a lot of great fights in him. He just almost won the world championship on 145 pounds. That's his natural weight. That's a good fighting weight for him. Sometimes you can't be champ. Okay, Frankie, you got one of the greatest careers in the world. There's a bunch of people. There's almost all of them can't beat you. Stay at the weight class. Keep clocking those paychecks. You already got your world championships. Next, move on.
Okay. At any point in this, do we discuss Stipe Cormier too?
You know what's funny about this is you're trying to drag the baby out of me right now. Okay, your new format where all you do is sit in front of a camera and cut bits and you try to get it at 11, 12, 13, 15 minutes. We're sitting here, have the baby. Okay, have the baby. All right, this is a back and forth thing. We can work together on this, but don't fight me. All right, we're going to have the baby. We just had the baby. Now, DC Stipe, your boy.
Please have the baby by all means. I don't even fully get the analogy.
We're gonna move on.
I feel like maybe I started to advance. Let me back up. Have you heard of Daniel Cormier?
Yes.
Do you know who Stipe is?
Here we go.
Have you heard of the World Championship?
There we go.
Do you know what the word rematch means?
Okay, come on.
All these things are happening in something called tomorrow. Do you know what that is?
I'm with you so far. This is you. Here, I'm going to let you go. Have this baby. Go.
No, I want I'm going to tell everyone what I thought. I brought you on the show so you can tell us what you think is going to happen. That's it. And then you can go.
I don't know why you have to talk to me like that.
I'm not even trying to talk to you in a certain way. We started the show. I actually called you before the show. I mean, should we let the audience in on it? I called you before the show. I said, here's the question I'm going to ask you. I've now asked you it, I think 6 times now, spanning over about 9 minutes.
That was 30 minutes ago. Nobody's going to remember what happened 30 minutes ago.
Is there any chance we talk Stipe, Daniel?
Yeah, can we talk about the UFC embeddeds first?
Sure.
Do you watch those things?
At times I do. I mainly watch the clips.
Okay, well, I have come up with my prediction based on the UFC embeddeds.
Okay.
All right. DC is going to win the fight. The only way DC loses the fight is if Stipe keeps him on the outside and boxes him up for 25 minutes. Daniel's big. He's strong. He's a heavyweight right now. He's right where a heavyweight should be. He can wrestle. He can fight. And he's bigger than Stipe. He's going to be within 5 or 6 pounds of Stipe. And with that body type, he's actually bigger than him. So Stipe has now lost one of his biggest advantages, which was size. All right. But I do want to touch on those embeddeds. So they do a embedded with DC, and all of you idiots, I go back to when it's you and Evan and Randy at 6 o'clock in the morning in the dealership doing your morning workout. That is now called, what the hell is that called now? Strength and conditioning. Everybody's got a strength and conditioning coach. And they go to DC out at Gilroy, and he hits the mitts for a little while, and then he starts flopping around in the pool like a 75-year-old woman. All right. So, and then now he's got his coach. He's got his dumb strength and conditioning coach saying, oh, this is the greatest thing in the world, and this, that, and the other, which was fine. You could have sold me on that until they had DC swim. DC can't swim a half mile front to back without stopping. Okay? DC, when you want to know about swimming, go call the Diaz boys. It works. It's a good exercise. Flopping around in the pool like a 75-year-old woman, stupid. Okay? So there you go. With the embedded on Stipe, great. He's overtrained. He's underweight. He's been pressing. He's had a year to think about this and go crazy, and it looks like he's been training the whole year. I'll be interested to see what weight he comes in. Whatever weight he does come in, it's going to be with a belly full of water, because his coach is going to say, come on, drink this up. He's too thin. DC wins this. It probably stops him in the 3rd round.
Okay, very interesting. So ultimately you're going with DC, and I have no problem with that. It would just seem to me that you laid out a blueprint for what you did not like about DC's preparation, which included his swimming. So even though you saw the swimming in the preparation and you don't like it, you still like him in the fight.
No, that had nothing. No, DC did his work. DC went to wrestling practice. He coaches a wrestling team. The whole point wasn't to knock DC around on the swim bit. It was his dumb coach having him flop around in the pool and calling it a workout, of which you, my friend, in the last 15 years, the last 7 or 8, you've been playing hill bullshit. Okay? It's the same thing. I watch you do it. Those dummies do it. There you go, baby.
I really have nowhere else to go with you, but thank you for your time. And congrats on getting on those pants.
This is it. You brought nothing to the table. Okay, what's your prediction, dummy?
Well, you actually brought something up.
I apologize for calling you dummy.
There's actually something to dummy. But I accept your apology. Thank you. There's something in the talking point of which you just did in your diatribe that I really did like, which is that Daniel is bigger than Stipe. I agree with you, and the scale's going to tell us here in a couple of hours, but I think you're right. I think Daniel will come in heavier, and evidence of that was the last time they fought, Daniel came in bigger. Now, why is that relevant? Well, people have short-term memories, but if you recall that fight, which I believe was last March, might have been May, point is, DC was coming up from 205, he had the belt. Stipe was at heavyweight, he had the belt. It was the first ever, and I believe the only ever, champ versus champ we've ever seen. It was a big deal. It was a really, really big deal storyline-wise. But what surprised everybody is DC actually weighed more than Stipe. Now, if you put them by each other, Stipe looks like the bigger man. But the scale simply says something different. So to your point, the big advantage that Stipe was allegedly going to come in with was taken away. Because Daniel's a lot bigger guy when he's not trying to be a light heavyweight. I think that's a fair point. Also, Joel, I would mention this. And I don't know how much I want to give you a prediction for this fight because I am truly looking forward to it, but I will tell you this. Last fight was 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Stipe had some great moments in that. He had some jabs. He had some crosses. He stayed a little busier. Excuse me. There was even a brief wrestling exchange. It stayed on their feet, but there was an underhook. Stipe threw it by. He had Daniel's back. It was a brief wrestling, but Stipe still won it. So Stipe's looking at it and going, look, all I need to do is duplicate that 9 more times. That will make up 5 rounds. I win this thing. That's his argument. Based on the experience he had, I think he's doing the right logic here. Here's the problem with the formula. Daniel Cormier, by his own admittance, is a slow starter. And that just wasn't the Daniel that we would see in minutes 7 and 8 through 25, which is where I think it does get very interesting. I know Stipe can have good moments because I saw him have them. I believe Daniel, once he gets his footing and gets a little warmed up, is going to have some good moments right back. And I think that's where the real fun comes in.
So you're not going to make a prediction?
I am absolutely going to. But right now on this second, no. I need a little bit more time to form it. I am looking forward to the weigh-in. There's something for the face-off. There's something where, you gauge their tensions and how do they look. And it's going to be a last-minute decision. I got the guts to make one. But no, I'm not prepared right now. I've gone back and forth.
Here, let me tell you, since you love DC more than anybody in this world except those 2 kids and that beautiful wife of yours, you're going to pick them. Peace.
I don't think. All right, go ahead. Goodbye. All right, Joel, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, I don't know that my love fest for DC, I don't really know where that came from. Joel is insistent that I give everybody in the world in MMA a hard time except DC. The DC somehow gets a pass from me. I don't know that that is actually factually correct in the least, but that's Joel. All right, moving on.